man, I really screwed myself over, man. Shoot, like I honestly feel like I did terrible. I felt destroyed. I felt humiliated. But I've talked to many people, and I don't think I know a single person that did not feel like absolute crap after the exam.
They call themselves the Foods and Medicine.
Garcia and Alexis Aleman.
They become a social media
People started
sensation.
reaching out to us.
Today we got Foods and Medicine tapped in.
Yes, sir.
What's up, you guys? Today I just want to make a quick video. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to update you guys on my situation with my USMLE Step 2 score. I really haven't been that active lately. I really haven't been as active as I would want lately, especially with YouTube. I was taking Step 2, which is basically one of the board exams that we take for medical school, and it's required to graduate. And it's been really brutal, guys. Right before that, I took Step 1, and it feels like, really, really large chunk of the past year was, pretty much studying. So it's been a really hard time. It feels like my life has been on pause for a while. There's so many things that I wanted to do, and I still got to do a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But there was many things that, it just didn't completely play out the way I wanted it to. A lot of my days, most of them, I was studying around 10 to 12 hours every day. During Step 1, I went pretty dang hard, guys. Like, I was probably doing 12 to 16 hour days pretty consistently without really any days off. Maybe like one day off here and there. But for Step 2, for this exam, I really wanted to prioritize myself a little bit more. I tried to take a day off per week. It wasn't always possible, but I aimed for it, and I think on average I did take about a day off a week. And I also tried to have stricter cutoffs for my study time. When I was taking Step 1, I felt like I just kept going and going and going. And if I had energy in me, I just kept going. And if I didn't have energy in me, to be honest, I still kept going until the day was pretty much over. And honestly, a lot of days here with Step 2 were like that for me, but I constantly also tried to remind myself, stop, just chill out after this certain time or whatever, or after doing this many questions. And so I feel like I did manage my stress a lot better this time. However, it was still stressful. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't think there's too many ways around that, right? It is a grind, and I'm not necessarily the best test taker, at least in the way it's written here. A lot of the exams for medical school and these board exams, there's a lot of reading, a ton of it, and it honestly really tires me out, and it's just really hard to pay attention for this long. It's a 9-hour exam, and every question is literally feels like an essay. But anyways, in this video, I just want to mostly focus on discussing my exam day experience. Pretty much, a lot of people have been asking me, how did it go? How did it go? Did you pass? All that stuff. Really, with this exam, you don't know if you passed until about most people say it's around 2 weeks later, but the website says between 2 to 8 weeks. So it's possible that tomorrow I actually find out. So today is Tuesday, and a lot of people say that a lot of people get their score 2 Wednesdays after the exam was taken, and so that would mean tomorrow. So there's a big chance that I might get my results back tomorrow. But anyways, in terms of test day or even test week experience, that week I mostly just focused on staying focused. I have a really difficult time. And if you've been following me, you know that during my step 1 exam, I was not able to sleep. I spent, I believe, 4 days without sleep. I just couldn't. I laid there in bed all night, just tossing and turning, and I just couldn't stop thinking about the exam, about the questions, about the material. It was haunting me. It was really bad, guys. Like, it was really bad, and I was really hoping I could sleep the night before my exam, and then unfortunately it didn't go that way. And so this time I was like, you know what? And thankfully I passed that exam. Even on my worst day, it was literally, I feel like, my worst possible day ever. On my worst day, I still got to pass it. So I'm really grateful for that. I was honestly surprised because if you've ever spent an all-nighter, like, you feel like your brain no longer works. At least that's how it is for me. And so during that exam, I feel like I was just like almost just clicking things, like, but not really like taking the time to ingest it or whatever, and taking in the information, like just kind of pattern recognition. Oh yeah. And thankfully, I studied a lot. I was very well prepared, and thankfully it was enough to get me a pass even on my worst day. So anyways, with this exam, step 2, it's actually a scored exam. So a pass was not enough for me. I could not pass it. I needed to get a good score, and I really wanted a good score. And I don't know what I actually got yet at this moment, but I was shooting for the stars. And I got to a point where, I like being transparent. I know a lot of people might not and don't talk about scores. It's like taboo or whatever. But I like being transparent. With my practice exams, I was getting around 260, which is around like 80% correct. 80% correct. And 260 is a pretty dang good score. I believe like the average for the most competitive specialties, such as like neurosurgery, are probably in the mid 250s, maybe to high 250s. I really prepared for this exam. I aimed for a really high score. And part of the rationale behind that was also not only because I wanted to learn as much as possible and get a good score, but because if I did get to that point where, holy crap, like I was unable to sleep, like I was hoping that, I shoot for a 260, I practice, I train for this exam as if I'm getting a 260, and that's my preparation. However, if I have a really, really bad week where I'm unable to sleep, and if I prepared for a 260, hopefully I would land somewhere, 250 or 240s, right? Which is kind of like, for my specialty, like mid 240s, 250s or whatever, low 250s is probably, that's more than enough. So I aim for the stars and hope to land somewhere else, right? But anyways, with this exam week, like I said, my goal was not to learn more information, to cram new information. I already knew enough. I had literally been scoring in the top percentiles of the country. So all I needed to do was to repeat that on exam day. And I knew that meant I had to get some sleep. And so for exam week, I think I only studied 2 days. I actually went to Chicago, and we had a whole event there. If you're keeping up with us, that whole weekend, it was really hard to study, but like every free time I had, I went and studied. I remember there was, we gave a keynote speech and then a panel afterwards, and then, obviously, people, I love, people coming out and everything. But at that point, I really, was trying to aim for, I had like a 2-hour gap, and I was like, I'm trying to get those 2 hours in to study. And so I did that, and I rushed up to the room, and I banged out 2 hours of studying, really efficiently, really just like get to it kind of thing. And then most of that trip whenever I had another opportunity like that. It was just a matter of like squeezing in study time wherever I could, wherever I could. And so unfortunately, you know, I was really excited about going to Chicago. I wanted to explore the city. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to. But I mean, I had this exam coming up and I wanted to make sure that I was well prepared, which I already was, but it's more of like making sure I keep it going, you know what I mean? Keep up the momentum. And so when I got back, I probably studied Tuesday, Wednesday, most of the day. And then Thursday, I studied for half day. And so the night before my exam, I studied half of the day. And then my goal for that day was to hang out with my friends and my family. And so I actually talked to my family and I asked them like, hey, like, are you guys willing to, you know, hang out with me for half of the day or whatever? I'm going to stop at noon or whatever. And I kicked it with them and I hung out with my family. I hung out with some friends and we talked about a bunch of stuff, bunch of dumb stuff, degenerate stuff, whatever.
I used to. Hey, Ruben. Now we're back here.
Bro, it looks like cum.
But damn, that helped out so much, like so much because I was finally able to sleep. And that was amazing. So I actually went to sleep that night without feeling all paranoid and stuff and nervous and anxious about everything. However, the morning of my exam, I actually woke up and I did not feel good. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was staying with my sister up in Seattle. And she had cats. And so I was like, oh, I feel like I'm getting allergies or whatever. But that morning when I woke up, I did not feel rested. And I felt, honestly, damn, I felt like crap. But I had like a runny nose and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, whatever. Maybe it's, you know, the cats or whatever. I went to the exam. And that whole day I felt like really crappy. And about like a couple minutes into the exam, I realized, man, I think I'm sick. Like someone got me sick. I have not been around people for a long time. I've been inside in this room most of the time. I actually moved, and I don't even know if I've updated you guys, but I moved. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I wish I would have vlogged more or whatever, or documented more, but it was just a really busy time, and with editing and everything, it just took up too much time, and it was just too stressful, honestly. Anyways, what the heck was I talking about? Anyways, I had not really been around people, so I think because of that, I was very susceptible to getting sick. And so in the middle of the exam, I realized, whoa, like these allergies or whatever are not going away, and I feel like crap, and I have a really bad headache, and my eyes are like they just feel so tired. And then I got a cough, and I was like, oh my God. And as the day went on, I just started feeling sicker and sicker and sicker. And then I just finished that exam, and I felt like crap. Like I could not focus. My head hurt so much, and I was just like, well, I mean, I don't think I could even do anything about this anymore. Like, I don't think you can cancel the exam mid-exam. And so I'm like, damn, I'm just gonna have to grind it out today. And I felt really slow, like sluggish. Like I felt like I had like brain fog. And when I was reading, I was just so tired and drowsy. And I don't know. I did leave the exam feeling terrible. I felt really crappy, and I'm like, man, I really screwed myself over, man. Shoot, like I honestly feel like I did terrible. Like if I had to guess, like I feel like I put in, like not like this. I feel like my performance was like not even close to being a good score. However, I felt really crappy that day. So I don't know. I really don't know how I did. But I've talked to many people, and I don't think I know a single person that did not feel like absolute crap after the exam. Like it just felt like freaking, I don't even know how to explain it, man. Like, it just felt, I felt like destroyed. I felt humiliated. Like, I trained so hard. I studied for so long. And then you take this exam and it gets very confusing and it's super vague. And then the questions, and man, I have to scroll a couple times just to finish reading the question. Like, it was long, it was confusing, I did not feel good, I didn't have my A game, so I found myself struggling to finish on time. Honestly, it just felt like a horrible experience. And I'm really hoping that what happens to a lot of people, which is they feel this way and then they get their score back and then it's like, whoa, you got like a 260, 250, whatever. I really hope that happened to me. And at this point, one of the ways I've been able to just ease my nerves is to just trust that I put in the work and that I actually know a lot of stuff. And that it's just part of the process to feel crappy, I guess, after this exam. You don't get your score back right away, so it's like you don't even know how you did. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm banking on. After the exam, I really needed time for myself, and so these last two weeks or so, like I've honestly just been, I've been working on a lot of stuff too, but I've been focused on spending more time at the gym, spending more time outside. Like, if I have some work to do, I do it outside when I can. I've been hanging out with friends. I literally just got back from a trip with some of my homies that came through to LA. We then did like a little road trip to Arizona. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to all those people out there. La Finiquera. It was dope. We're in the middle of nowhere right now.
Bro, we really are.
El desierto.
Los caminos de la vida.
And it really helped me take my mind off things. Like, I honestly haven't really thought about the exam until right now. So I've been able to sleep well. I've been sleeping like a baby, which is super nice because for the past couple months, I felt so sleep deprived, and even when I tried to go to sleep on time, I just couldn't. So, and maybe it doesn't even help that I literally am drinking cafecito. So, and I think it's like 6:30 p.m. Anyways, if you keep up with me, hopefully I figure out what I get tomorrow. I'll try to keep you guys posted. But regardless, I'm really thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for all the support that everyone on this channel, everyone on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of you guys, like, I really, really support your support, and so many of you people, like, sometimes I feel pressured, like, man, like, I'm studying hella and I'm so stressed out and I'm not putting out as much content as I want to. I feel like maybe I'm letting some people down. But then I see some of the messages, and there's so many people out there like, hey, like, if you need to take a break, like, go ahead, like, we're gonna be here and we're here supporting you regardless, and to take time off or whatever. Like, don't focus on the content or the social media or anything like that. Like, focus on your exam. So that's been really nice, and honestly, like, very reassuring when I hear that from you guys. Like, it just makes me feel like I'm not in this alone, and it makes me feel like a lot of people out there are supporting me and really do genuinely want me to succeed, and it means a lot to me, guys. It really does. It means a ton, and it has actually made this journey a lot, it's really, really difficult. I can't even call it easy, but it's made it better, right? It just made the whole journey better because I don't feel like I'm doing this alone, and I feel like I have a whole community behind me. And when I went into that exam, I felt like, dang, like, it's not just me. Like, I'm carrying my parents, I'm carrying my siblings, I'm carrying all the people I grew up with, I'm carrying all these online community that I've built. Like, people are backing me up. Like, I'm being backed up by so many people, and I'm not doing this alone. Like, and I didn't want to disappoint, and I went in there, and yeah. Anyways, thank you again. Seriously, thank you. I can never thank you guys enough for all the support and everything. You guys have literally changed my life, I would say. Because of you guys, I can now have, I literally have my study room. I didn't have that before. Something as simple as that like makes a huge difference, allows me to focus on the school a lot more. It really does suck to do all your studying in the same place you eat, in the same room you eat, in the same room you sleep, in the same room you shower, in the same room you, all those things. It really sucks. And because of you guys, I've been able to focus on my school actually a little bit more, and fix up my study setup. And so I'm really, really, really thankful for you guys. Anyways, this isn't a fancy video or anything. Please, if you like this content, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We've been tapping into Facebook. I'm going to really try to put out more YouTube videos. I'm trying to come up, me and Alexis just discussed this, but we're trying to figure out like a better system for us to put content out more efficiently, basically, because we got to a point where we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of content ideas, but me and Alexis can only do so much, especially when you're a full-time medical student, which literally can take up to like, I don't know, probably 80 hours of my week. So trying to figure out a plan. So please stay tuned, bear with us. I'm hoping to put out a lot more videos, and please, yeah, I guess we'll find out hopefully soon how I did. But thank you guys.